If it's hard to have self-control because of your environment, then listen to this. Where does self-control come from? It's an interesting question, because before you can build the real skill of self-control, the ability to stay in control of yourself, before you can build that skill, you have to decide whether or not you believe in it. You have to decide whether or not you believe in self-control and whether or not you believe that you can have the level of self-control that you need and that's required. The fundamental question that you need to answer is, do you believe in self-control, that you control yourself? Or do you believe that things control you and that people control you? Do you control you, or do other things and other people control you? That's the fundamental question from a belief perspective that you need to decide for yourself. Because it's easy to believe in the concept of self-control, and then when it gets hard and when you lack it, or when things start to influence you, take control away from yourself and assign it to and give it to other things and other people. So deciding this belief once and for all, permanently and forever in your mind, is the starting point for getting yourself where you need to be. Do you believe in self-control, or do you believe that other things and other people control you? Here's a perspective. Influence from your environment, it can surround you, but it can never own you until you refuse to be controlled by anything other than your decisions. That's called ownership. The ability to be surrounded by any number of influences, any number of factors, any number of things, and refuse to be controlled by any of them, except for one thing, and that is inside yourself, your own choices, your own decisions, your own standards. That's where control comes from. It's not out here, it's in here. But if you don't believe that, it's easy to give control to things on the outside and let go of that ownership. This shows up in a very real way in our lives. Don't look to your teammates for how to act. Don't look to your friends either. Don't look to your spouse. Don't look to celebrities. They can't live your life. They can't control you. They will never take ownership for you or of you. You own yourself. To the extent that you look at and assign responsibility and ownership to other people for the choices that you have made, or to the environments around you, is you are taking ownership away from yourself and you are giving ownership of you to other people. And that is simply not something that anyone else can do. So when you're thinking and you're trying to decide, how should I act? It's not about looking to other people to tell you what to do, or inform you what to do, or guide you what to do. And maybe you can get some input for sure. You can get some guidance if they want to give that to you. But don't get your read for how to make decisions and what decisions to make from others, because it's not theirs to make. It's yours to make. You stay in control of you. Let them be in control of themselves. If you want to gain more self-control, the first way to train this into your life is don't set yourself up to be a hero all the time. Don't actively put yourself into environments that require extraordinary levels of self-control. Don't adopt routines or stay in routines. Don't bring things into your life or keep them in your life that require you to have a significant, heavy load of self-control to resist them or say no to them or have to activate them, whatever it would be. Don't put yourself in a scenario where you have to be a self-control hero all the time in order for it to work well. And also don't set yourself up for failure. Don't put yourself in scenarios where you need to exert more self-control than is necessary. Choose your environments and choose the things in your environment as much as you possibly can to set up your decisions around self-control for success. What does this look like? Well, if you want more self-control about the foods you eat, stop buying foods that require you to have self-control to not eat them. If you don't want to eat bad foods, stop putting bad foods in your house. If you don't want to eat sweets, don't buy sweets in your home. Now, people like to make all kinds of reasons and rationales and excuses and all kinds of different. But when you aren't good at self-control yet, and you think you don't have self-control around certain kinds of things, and then you willingly choose to keep those things in your environment, you are setting yourself up for failure. When you put yourself into situations where you have to exert self-control, like some people need to on, say, social media, they will scan and read through threads and watch videos and watch the news around things that irritate them and anger them and people who say things and do things, especially on social media. And then they will write something on Facebook or on Twitter that makes them look a certain way and treat somebody a certain way. And then they'd be like, oh, I just don't have the self-control not to reply. Well, the reason was because you didn't start with the self-control to not even put yourself in the scenario. And then your environment got control of you, you lost control of yourself, and we failed at two different points. So how do you train yourself for this? Certainly we have to have self-control because we do not control our environments. But you can make choices about what is in your environment and what environments you put yourself into. Improve your ability to gain and grow self-control by putting yourself in environments where you have really good chances of success. Don't fight battles that you don't need to fight. You don't win any awards for taking the hardest path available and then losing on that path. Remember that you are the authority of your thoughts and of your actions until you choose to give that authority away. Where do you think? And let me know what your perspective is in the comments. Where do you think self-control comes from? Everything is training for something. Do the work.